Don't you just love these moments where people are just passing out from the Spirit? I don't know if you've ever fainted because you felt the Spirit so strongly, but like that's what I dream will happen in my seminary class. You know, people will just start like dropping left and right, boom, boom, boom. We'll just be feeling the Spirit, and kids will be falling out of their chairs. But here you have this moment, right? Lamoni faints from the Spirit. His wife faints from the Spirit. Ammon faints from the Spirit. The servants faint from the Spirit. Lamoni's dad faints from the Spirit. And that is one of the cool parts. I love in Alma chapter 22, there's this moment where, when Ammon was first fighting against Lamoni's dad, because Lamoni's dad was trying to kill his son, he gets him at sword point, and Lamoni's dad says, look, I will give up half my kingdom if you spare my life. But after Ammon teaches him about Christ and about the plan of salvation and about eternity and about God and about love, he says, I will give away all my possessions to know God. And then he says, I will give away my sins to know God. And it says he's praying and he's willing to just really give whatever it takes to know God that he passes out to. And then there's one more story that I just wanted to point out. It's a little bit, it's a couple of chapters ahead, but it's now in chapter 27, verse 16. And this is now when Ammon and the sons of Mosiah have finished their missions and they meet back up with Alma. And it says in verse 17, at the end of 16, it says, behold, this was a joyful meeting. Now the joy of Ammon was so great, even that he was full. Yea, he was swallowed up in the joy of his God, even to the exhausting of his strength, and he fell again to the earth. Ammon's always fainting with joy. And then it says this great little question. Now was not this exceeding joy? Behold, this is joy which none receiveth, save it be the truly penitent and humble seeker of happiness. And then this funny line. Now the joy of Alma in meeting his brethren was truly great, and also the joy of Aaron and Omner and Himni. But behold, their joy was not that to exceed their strength. This flavor of the Spirit seems to be unique to Ammon, right? Everyone that Ammon hangs out with faints. And maybe you haven't fainted because you felt the Spirit so strongly, but I hope that there have been moments in your life where feeling the Spirit has made, it's almost like this metaphor, right? The fainting, it's like this world, the things that are visible and right in front of you, they diminish in importance, and you stop caring about material things, and you stop caring about popularity or what other people think about you, and all of a sudden your soul is just sort of lit up with this light, with this desire to be connected with God. And it's almost like you pass into this other realm with different priorities and different values. And I think that's a great metaphor for this way the Spirit works in our lives is he shows us the things that matter most and makes other things not seem to matter so much. And then I wanted to just look, I mean, that's what is happening. The external falling is what the people see, but what they don't see is what's going on inside. And I think that's the most important thing. What's going on inside is that their soul is being ultimately rippled. And I want to just think for a second about what is it that causes the soul, this big, lasting, expansive difference in our hearts and in our souls. And if we had the time, I don't want to take the time, but each of these verses ultimately talks about the plan of salvation, which centers on Jesus Christ. I do want to read just maybe a couple of them. Look at chapter 19, verse 13. When King Lamoni first comes out of his first trance, and he blesses his wife in verse 12, he says in verse 13, for as sure as thou livest, behold, I've seen my Redeemer, and he shall come forth and be born of a woman. And then this line, and he shall redeem all mankind who believe on his name. And when he said these words, his heart was swollen within him, and he sank again with joy. And then the queen sank down, being overpowered by the Spirit. And it's that notion that there is not a single person on this planet who is outside of the reach of Jesus Christ's grace. He can save every single man, woman, and child. That's you. And as you think about the love that Jesus Christ felt, that he came and he gave his life so that he can redeem us, and you let that message sort of drop into your soul, that's going to change you. It's going to impact you. It's going to change the way you interact with people. It's going to change the way you think about yourself. And I just want to testify that he came to redeem everybody. And that is an overwhelming, overpoweringly beautiful thought. And I say that in his name, Jesus Christ. Amen.